to where the beach is near. The beer is dear, there's plenty of women and the crack. Walking
here we are in the final second. The whistle is gone, and Sligo Rovers are the champions.
By the riverside, you can watch the tide as it flows.
No, I'm being told that Average Joe's does not have enough players and will be forfeiting the championship match.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Very tight and drive it clean out over the fence. Out in there, he's the corner.
In the bookie shop, I done.
Hello and welcome to the Sligo Show, Sligo's newest sports and entertainment show every Thursday night.
I think you might have the wrong show there, mate.
That's that new idea that's on Facebook every Thursday. Yeah, very great initiative shown there.
Original, I think.
Saucer of milk for the lads.
We're very salty here today, licking our wounds.
No, best of luck to the boys. Season 2, episode 2, lads, of the Sligo Way podcast, sponsored by Bavaria 00.
Cool and refreshing.
Drinking and driving, have a 00. How are we, boys? Good to be back.
All good, Edo. Good to be here.
Yeah, we're a bit earlier today. We're well tugged out today now. We're ahead of the game, are we?
We had a bit of a rush job last week, I think. But
Yeah.
Training needed to be attended to now.
Giddiness. And you're booked in for you're teeing off in the golf
I'm
club,
teeing
are
off
you?
this evening, yeah. I planned it around you, Edo.
Thanks very much, Ronan. It means a lot. So, lads, yeah, there's an awful lot to get through from last week's as well. Just from the correspondence, just from the general chit-chat. The Carvery...
The Carvery continues.
Raised its delicious head.
Yeah, the Carvery debacle, I nearly call it.
It is a debacle at this stage. It's
Yeah,
very
it's
bad
actually,
for the town.
Niall Kearney sent us in a tweet there, basically. He's right, though. He is right. There's only one place in town that does a proper Carvery anymore.
We're talking to Sligo Park, are we? That's
No,
what he's saying, no?
He's saying Sligo Park or not the Glasshouse. Lions's.
All right. Okay.
So Lions's does a Carvery as well. But I suppose if you're looking for a bit of sustenance before
Yeah.
hitting the beer on a Tuesday afternoon at maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock.
The City Hotel used to do a Carvery.
Yeah, we would have. Molly Fulton's doesn't know. Strikes me as a place that would.
Not town,
does
though.
it?
Not town.
Not
No,
town.
can't be considered town
Sorry.
There's men talking about Carvery for reasons to fill their bellies up before they go drinking, I think.
So maybe that mad fella from Dundalk wasn't too far off. Maybe this multi-million-pound Carvery idea.
It just needs to be marketed right.
He was claiming millions. They were going for millions.
Everyone loves turkey and ham. Did he look for a definitive ranking of top Carveries in town? Did he?
No,
Or-
he
I
was
just
just
wanted
looking,
acknowledgement.
Yeah, just that there is no opportunity. Like, I think he was saying that Lions is always busy on.
Yeah.
It's a busy spot. It doesn't
I've
look
got an
like that.
idea now. Instead of these new coffee horse carts, we get a Carvery horse cart. We can just pull up a big
What
Carvery
jingle-
horse cart.
like the ice cream van has a jingle. What jingle would the Carvery van have? Pulling into estates.
It'd be like, no, it'd be like the
Something to go well with
no, the Coronation Street theme tune.
Pulling into estates. And instead of all kids running after, like middle-aged men coming after with the check shirts on them.
Yeah, go on, put more gravy on that, will you?
Very good. I don't know that we answered that question at all.
No, I think it's just an acknowledgement that there is a lack of Carveries in town. I think that's what Niall
Big
was
lack
looking
of
for.
Carveries, yeah. Petition going to get the Carvery. Well, look, there's talk that
There's an
Sligo
opportunity.
Rovers might be getting the Carvery up in the shoulders. We don't know. Will that take off? What else? A nudist beach discovered in Sligo.
Unbelievable. I actually drove to Mullockmore yesterday and it was carnage out there. But you know the turn for Cliffoney pitch there?
Yeah.
That place was swamped down.
Yeah.
So I assume that must have been the route to the nudist beach.
You can get to the sand dunes that way. Oh, there was a nudist beach.
Just on Twitter last night, this was...
Ross, you were in Mullockmore as well this week.
I was in Mullockmore, yeah.
Were you bathing?
Well, you can see by our sun-kissed arms here, the two of us sporting
You're
horrible...
red raw now. So you reckon the nudist beach is across the soccer pitch?
What someone was saying, Cliffoney, so I assume that was the only
Yeah,
place
I
I
suppose
could
Cliffoney, yeah.
figure out where it could be.
Interesting.
And there was a huge crowd pulled up there now as well. So maybe, I don't know, there could be...
I think they're all nudists. Who was Alan Rooney on Twitter?
Alan Rooney was the one who spotted it, yeah.
Well, I'd love to know how he spotted.
But they've been wearing face masks, nude with face masks.
Was he
Pulling it down over there.
was he sunbathing and like in a pair of speedos and this scantily clad out fella started shaking the fist and the other bits at him.
Well, actually, I was on the beach in Mullockmore myself yesterday, and I was lying down, and then I looked to my left, and there was a fella, I'd say he was pushing 90, in the Speedos doing sit-ups and push-ups beside me.
He wasn't 90.
I'm telling you, he was ancient. Some
Right,
sight, but very nimble.
We might get him on for an interview.
Good start to this our sports podcast, lads. We'll move on. So when we're off the topic of sport, to the Strandhill Nudist Board Facebook page.
Oh God, what is local
what is-
seaside town is full on sunny weekend, and that seems to be a problem.
Look,
Young hipsters yell at cloud.
Lack of clouds.
not young hipsters, and half. I'm not gonna say something I regret here.
You get ran out of Strandhill by the new Strandhill.
By the new Strandhillians, they're only there a few years. It's not even. Oh, they're fucking pretentious. Bastards.
What would they wave instead of pitchforks?
Avocados. I put a post up a few years back of something with the GA or something with the sport around the area. It got taken down for what was it? I wasn't being local, or the post wasn't about local, but yet someone's having an old furniture sale there, and it's the biggest thing in the world, and or someone's recycling their own shit to make vegetables.
People aren't happy though.
It was, now, in fairness, it was absolute carnage down
There's
there
carnage
yesterday.
everywhere. The street of beach was closed off.
Yeah, Mullockmore was honestly
Mullockmore was
through my tail
mental.
back into
At
it.
the Gala shop, some buck, you can pull in there. The church was full,
Yeah.
car park, and there's people actually parking up my estate. But someone pulled in not sideways, lengthways, and just caused absolute havoc. Oh no, I had a few words with a woman. But look, I probably should have walked down to the shop myself. It's about 200 yards away, and I drove down.
Just leave the hazards on and go into the shop.
And sticking with sport, Jack B. Yates.
Jack me, yeah, wow. You were doubting me last week, lads, and
yeah,
you know.
Shame on us.
To be fair, I doubted myself, but good to see he's going to be. Would encourage everybody to go along to an island. In the next
island.
Model,
Yeah.
model Centre's opening again, so
Back in the back of our show, was it?
it was, yeah. They
yeah.
reached out to us and a lot of traction.
Well,
There's rumour that they're going to bring the medal in.
Is
The
his medal gonna be
silver
in?
medal,
It's
yeah.
the-
That's
yeah.
the big centrepiece of it, apparently.
Sorry, it's going to be phone here because Michael Drummond, wasn't it, quashed the rumour that.
Oh, that he might have been the first Olympian, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I suppose
It's even from Sligo.
he's not even from Sligo, no. But I suppose we're laying claim to him. But.
Where is this now? Sorry, yeah. Yeah, Sligo's first Olympian played in soccer. John Joe Dykes. JJD.
Yeah,
I think that was on the back of his jersey. He played for Irish in the Olympics. So
that was 1924 as well.
out of the way, Jack B. Yates. He painted race on the Liffey, actually, I think.
Yeah, that was the one. That was a beautiful painting as well.
Now we're getting into
Magnificent.
sport.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
we're getting sport. Mark McSharry.
Yes.
Return of the back.
He had a statement out today.
Yeah, he's
Marco.
rightly so. I suppose he's looking for.
Local sports enthusiast.
Yeah.
We
What
might
did he do?
We might try and get him on. I think
I'd
is
love
the.
to get him on.
Yeah,
We've
come on,
reached
Mark.
out to him. We've reached out to the
You've
McSharry
reached-
camp.
you've
So
reached out, Ross, have you?
explain what he did.
I didn't really see it probably. It's about trials for
Attendance.
fans, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. So he was saying. In fairness, he does have a point.
He is right. Shout out 3 games.
Yeah, it's actually a huge advantage. And
Yeah.
like he is right, like on the basis that there hasn't been high COVID rates in Sligo, so why not have a test event here where it's actually easier to trace people?
100%,
Do
yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
right.
And anyway, test event, no test event. I mean, fuck's sake, if 1,000 people can't sit in the showgrounds
Open them up.
safely enough, like it's,
Yeah.
even if you
After
get
what went on over the weekends around the country.
yeah, like if you think about it, like
When you seen Cliffoney Beach at the weekend,
Ah,
not mask or clothes between. And that fella was up trying to give the other fella piggyback at one stage, and I didn't know. But no, he's right. But you're right as well, and his point is right about Sligo, which has such low numbers.
yeah, we're trying.
Be able to trace it. Like if there's 1,000 people break out in Dublin again, that could multiply straight away.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think we'll get the back attack. Try and get him on for just a sporting related chat. No,
You were
no
edging
politics.
towards a
No
nickname
politics.
towards him there. You have Mac Attack. And
yeah, McMillions, McMafia, loads of them.
Yeah, loads can rhyme with Mac. Yeah, Mako. Mako Villapola. Yeah, love to get you on. Reaching out. So that'll be great. I think that's it for the intro. We're going to get into a small bit of surfing today, actually, for the first time on the show, Ross. I might hit that
Gareth
now.
McDale, I think over in El Salvador at the moment. He's beginning
Beautiful
his
this time of year.
Yeah, he's beginning his Olympic qualification. So I think he had round 1 of the qualification series, finished second. Top 2 progressed to the next round. Now that said, there are 9 rounds of qualification on this Olympic quest. But
Aaron O'Donnell has been keeping us up to date with that.
he has,
hasn't
and he's going to check in a little bit more correspondence next week to update us. But best of luck to him, another man on a Olympic adventure.
Jesus, 3 Olympians would be something else, wouldn't it?
Unbelievable.
He was in the same group, his same heat as the world number one, was he?
I think so, yeah, but he finished second, so
Yeah,
obviously the
class.
world number one must have finished first.
Oh, yeah. I presume it's judges and point scores.
Correct.
We'll find out. Aaron's actually going to do. He's offered to do a surfing for dummies.
Yeah, so it's going to make it easy for us to know, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, lads. Interesting start. We'll come back with the correspondence.
Hello, my name is Mr. Burns. I believe you have a letter for me.
Okay, Mr. Burns. What's your first name?
I don't know.
Okay, lads. A lot of correspondence, and as usual, it's the nation's favorite, the town's favorite.
It definitely is. Looking from we can check back how the show is going, and that's the most popular segment of the show, without a doubt.
Yeah. We'll start with one, a follow-up on one that came in last week, as regards young Damien Cullen,
Yeah.
a young listener who wanted to find out what the whereabouts of Benny the Bull. We started a petition. Didn't really share it too much, but I kind of forgot about it.
I had forgot about it.
We'll put a bit of life back into it during the week.
We made some inquiries, and there has been a half offer out to us to don the Benny the Bull suit.
Now, can I just say it here, Ado, you were full of beans for this. You championed for this. If we can reach an agreement with the Rovers, you were donning the outfit. It's not a shared thing.
I'll do it once, and we can document the day.
They were live streaming the whole day.
At the end of life playing the ball.
That'll be a live Instagram story for the day.
It's sitting in an office. The suit is sitting in an office in the showgrounds.
Needs a bit of
We've
love.
tracked it down. Might need to go to Keely's Dry Cleaners maybe. But yeah,
Definitely
look,
still after it anyways.
I'll do a game.
There we go.
Are you allowed to play a puck behind the goals though? Because I was thinking of doing like fake matador stuff and charging towards a red rag and all sorts of stuff.
I assume you could definitely jazz it up a bit.
How are the handstands? Could you do any
I'd
handstands?
say that suit isn't handstandable. I'd be afraid of it coming off and I've nothing underneath.
You think you're doing an unbelievable job doing a cartwheel, but your upper half is exposed to the crowd. Only when you feel the breeze, you know you're in trouble. Exciting.
Yeah, it'll be good. What am I on about? Why did I say this now? But it'll be good if you go cracking.
It would, yeah.
Just a trial basis. But what if the kids love me? Won't people say no to them?
What a buzz.
That could be a second job for you.
It could be, yeah. Big, a nasty mascot who goes around bullying other ones. I'd fight Hooperman for charity. So that's, Damien, if you're wondering, your favourite childhood hero, Benny the Bull, could be on the way back.
Might be resurrected.
He might be. Okay. Murty, we'll go to you first for this week's question.
Right.
And
So
all of
it's kind of a twofold question here that came in from Malachi McGowan and Shane Ward. So Malachi said, "How can Sligo football be saved?" I assume this is on the back of the. There's a BAV 0-0 being opened, but I assume this is on the back of the I suppose trouncing that Sligo took yesterday. And then Shane Ward was wondering, after winning 5 in a row county titles, are Tortostrand targeting the Sligo Leitrim Junior Soccer League next year? Surely the only explanation why they have none on the county panel. So we'll go over to our GAA expert, Ross, on this one.
Yeah, definitely nothing from my end, lads. As you were.
What do you say? How can Sligo County football
So
be
anyway,
saved?
the saved, like...
I think club football has to improve, first of all.
Yeah, they could take on board my suggestion from last year,
What was that again?
mixing up the championship. Although they've given it a good structure again this year.
I do think club football has
I have a few thoughts on like.
gone down in the last, compared to maybe 10 years ago. I definitely do.
I don't know if I said this last year, but the most competitive stages of Gaelic when we were growing up was probably between 1997 and maybe 2005-ish.
Yeah.
And at that time, you had, even if you brought it as far as 2000 Sligo, or 2007 when Sligo won Connacht, you would have had like years where Sligo won Connacht, Laois won Leinster, Westmeath won Leinster, Limerick went close, and Munster a few times. But at that stage, there was 2 Division 1s, so there was 1A, 1B.
Yeah, a lot of people are plugging towards that. But
Do you not think that raises the standards, no?
it does, but like Sligo aren't winning at Division 4 standards.
No, I understand that. But like,
It does. It doesn't. Like, I don't mind the 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, if you're good enough, you get up the grades. Like,
yeah, I know. But by not playing these, like, I think,
I know what you mean. I do know
like,
what you
even
mean.
the drop off between Division 1 and maybe you might always, like, say Mayo or kind of walking through Division 2 this year. Like, the drop, just not having played them top teams. Although, in saying that, Cork Kerry is a Division 3 team.
Well, Roscommon are the best example. They've won a few Connacht titles, I think two of the last three, but they're constantly kind of yo-yoing from Division 1 to Division 2. They do well to get promoted to Division 2, and then they lose every game in Division 1.
Yeah,
they're quite competitive doing a lot of the games, but so they might go back down again this year. But back to this, I suppose, the specific Sligo point. Well, actually, back to what you said about the league. Like 2001, when it was 1A and 1B, the four semi-finalists were Sligo, Mayo, Galway, and Roscommon. But I think like club football was so competitive. Maybe it is still competitive, but like before Tour de Strand won the 2 in a row there a few years back to start their 5 in a row. No one had won 2 in a row since '89 or '90. Like, so it just showed it was every year there was teams popping up. Now there's new teams getting to finals, all right, but I hope it's coming back. I do think it is coming back. Tour de Strand obviously being the team to beat. But then it's easy. Like the question is, how do you fix like a football? Like it's how do you fix club football? I don't know. There is very good underage structures coming through. Like the Miners in the Connacht final last year.
People, you see, when people go on about Gaelic now, my problem will be is that I don't think the gap between Dublin and Roscommon or Monaghan is the problem. I think the gap is now between the likes of Sligo and Roscommon.
Yeah,
there's a huge gap there now. Do you know, or like Sligo, say teams like that, like Monaghan who float around Division 1, Division 2, like they would absolutely...
Yeah,
you know,
I do think it's cyclical as well. Though.
So, yeah, that's true.
It definitely is.
That is true. Yeah. I remember chatting to my father about it, and I was like, were they always this bad? And he goes, for 15 years before we would have started going to games, they were absolutely rubbish. Like,
yeah,
do you know?
Well, not really. Yeah, but like the 80s and.
So was that because you put a big push into the youth, and then they come through, and then you get complacent?
A serious batch come through within 4 years of each other. You know,
yeah,
O'Hara, Taylor, Dave Durkin, them lads, and then the '96 minor team was very good, and the '98 minor team was quite good.
So what's the focus on the youth? Like,
no, it is. It's serious work going in. There is serious work.
Yeah.
Like, I was actually at under 20 training, watching it last Wednesday, and then I was at minor training on Sunday morning. And like the setup is so professional. Like, and
but what about the setup, like outside of the county squads, like into the community, into the schools? Like, what's been done?
No, that's
there?
all done. Liam O'Gormley and Stephen Henry and all them, Ross Donovan, Patrick Line. Like the schools are getting their coaching. But it just is it just it. Well, is there no? You know what? There's not there, and it is with the team. I was saying to someone earlier, there's no big dog of a big midfielder kind of type thing. We've lovely footballers, but no big brute who'll just do dirty work and be. It's
been a while.
I have a theory that's kind of. It's you don't see it in the very young ages coming through. Like that takes you don't.
No, but I'm even the adult team. There's no pig of a player like who's maybe not the most skillful.
Yeah.
Because the boys all playing around the middle are lovely footballers like and that, and just someone who's
probably been that way for a good while though. Looking back on it now, like. A big, you know, like I can't probably since Paul Durkin. It's
Paul Durkin. Now it's in like insulting, but he done the dirty work. He got his body in the way. Like he wasn't afraid to fucking like he tried to go off the pitch sometimes, but he putting his head in the way. But that was different. No, football was different then. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah. I suppose small follow up there. So, any reason why Tour de Strand have no players in the county team?
I couldn't tell you. Really. I don't know.
There is a few in there and around.
There is definitely a few in and around. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I suppose the new management picks the team. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Liam Gahan might have been coming out from an injury or wasn't fully fit. He's one that stands out straight away. But
he'd usually start anyway. Though.
He would, yeah. Carl Henry. I'm trying to think. There's Ushin Kennedy. There's a good few around, but I don't know why they're not starting. Look,
you don't pick the team.
I don't, and I don't know the ins and outs of it, but. Wardy is asking as well. Do you think they're focusing on winning back the Sligo Leitrim title?
That's
so he's hinting at the return of a Clare Celtic.
That's that. Well, actually, that might lead us into our next question.
The Mara Clarana out there in Clare. It's in ruins. I was out there recently.
So would a Clare be? We've just got our question in from Shady McGee as usual.
Yep.
With the return of junior soccer in 2 weeks, I want to know which old junior team would you like to see brought back to the Summer Super League? The teams will have their old squads, managers, and facilities.
I'd straight for Quayside. Greatest times of my life.
Quayside was used as an example here, actually.
2006, 2007, 2008. Now under the guidance of Michael Keegan, and drinking and shipping had some of the best stories I'll ever have ever.
Yeah,
so Ross,
I was there many a Sunday morning. It was unbelievable entertainment.
It was out. There was people used the town. We used massive crowds.
I remember going. I went to a few games. Right,
stuff that anything could happen.
What was the time that I was just sitting on the sideline? I think we were all absolutely dying, and McHugh was dying, and the ball just came out over the side of the pitch, and he absolutely leathered it with a volley. And the ref came over again.
Ted Maloney. It's silly.
Yeah.
The yellow card.
Gave the yellow card sitting on the bench, and then he was pretending he was really upset with it.
So not a Clare Celtic anyway to be. Quayside Rovers.
Quayside all the way. Such crack, the ship. And Hughie Lowry then playing for us later. Hughie Lowry! And definitely Quayside. Ross, you had a great day. We won the Frank Kennedy Cup with the party back in our house.
Yeah, it was some one hell of a night. The bathtub was taken out of the house, was it?
That was the other thing. That was when you lived above Domino's. The bathtub was taken out. There's a photo of that somewhere actually.
There is, yeah. Yourself and Heinze. I think Keego's in the background as well.
The manager's in the bathtub.
I suppose I'd have an easy enough answer for that anyway. I'd just bring back Chaffpool Rovers.
Oh,
just to bring back the derby. We had talked.
El Chafico.
We were both involved in talking about getting a bus out for El Chafico, load of cans and getting a few flares and just picking one of them to support. Like, it's a really regret of mine that we never actually went through with that.
They'll never come back, will they?
I'd say there's such animosity now. It's a deep divide, that one.
It is, yeah.
The Chaffpool divide, like there's actually there'll be books written on that in the future.
Sure, we could do a standalone pod episode from both sides of the camp. We could go out and
we try and reunite them.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, yeah, we could take that on board. As soon as we're getting betting the bull back, that could be our next community outreach.
I know twin brothers from up that area, and they don't talk. One of them's Rovers, one of them's United.
That's just the way it is out there.
Chafico is.
Christmases have been ruined.
That is just the way it is.
The Chaffpool divide. Ross, have you got anything written down there? Next
I have
question.
nothing written down here. No.
I'll find.
I have most of them in front of me here. Favourite hole at Bertie's, lads. Always be, that's from John Keane. Favourite hole at Bertie's.
In the States, I think.
Always been a fan of 16. Attack the pin, downhill and finish birdie, par. 18 was always a tricky one. So John there was up and finishing strong there at Bertie's.
Yeah.
Would you have a favourite there now, lads?
I'm too pissed off by the time I go around that far. Number 5, mine favourite, the Tiddler. Lovely wee short hole.
6.
6, sorry,
6,
is it?
Yeah. The 5 is the one up beside the house you're playing, and then 6 is the Tiddler.
6, sorry, Jesus. Yeah, I get you now.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed. Yeah, 6, the Tiddler, sorry. That's my favourite.
Ross?
Unsurprisingly, I'm brutal at golf, including pitch and putt. These dinosaur arms are just no good for a swing. We'll go with the Saucerator. I think you would have tweeted up about that before, did you?
Yeah, we were gonna play it off that it was you.
It's a big birdie, but
yeah, the Saucer, another lovely hole.
I've played the hole about 1 million times, but I can't think of the name of it. But I'd probably go for the 13th. Every time I step up there, you know, the one downhill there, playing back towards the wall.
That's called Philip O'Malley, I think. It's a big bulger in the middle, and it comes down.
But yeah, every time I step up at that hole, I think I'll put it close. So 13 would be my personal favourite.
I started off like a house. I went out there when they first opened. Like, I don't play it at all, but I love going out on my own. And a few weeks ago, when they first opened a few weeks back, and I went out.
You were very early one morning, weren't you?
It was, yeah. Too early for Bertie, it seemed. He wasn't open. I started like house on fire. A record, 2 birdies, a par, and a birdie.
Nice.
Going round, and I'd say I ended with a 70-something.
the collapse.
Yeah,
well, actually, collapse. In John's question, he mentioned 16. When I was about 16 or 17, the course record at Bertie's at the time was 42, so we would have played it every day of the summer. Would have went away and played competitions, whatever, but I was 10 under after 15.
Jesus.
So I was on the 16 tee, course record was inside. Course record was 12 under at the time, 42. And I put it to about maybe 10, 12 feet on 16. Downhill putt, as John's alluding to there in the question. Downhill putt, I thought, I'll never have a better chance to have the course record. Went at the putt, lipped out, went about 10 feet by, missed one back up, and birdied the last 2 to finish 11 under. That was always a regret of mine.
The greens aren't in great shape out there at the minute.
No, not at the minute, no.
That's a good question, John. Brendan Fitzsimons, lads, big question.
This is a big one.
Favorite place to watch football as a pub? It means in town. He says Foley's Bar is his.
Yeah, I enjoy Foley's now, I must say.
It depends when what time you get in. You need to see. I think,
true. Foley's will be like, and you've got, if there's multiple action on, you've got.
I enjoy up the back in Foley's.
Yeah, you've got the two TVs.
Couldn't get a gangy in there, innit?
Yeah, I did enjoy the Strand Bar when they had it with the TV face. It's on the other wall. I know when you go in now, you're looking at the TV in the big back room, but it used to be on the other wall, so you were looking out towards the bar as well. So you could be nosy at people coming in. You might even get the head to the barman, the old raised eyes for another pint, and the big screen there. But that's gone now.
Yeah, honourable mention to Anderson's now is not a bad venue for a big match in the back.
Been there really for it.
No, I've had a few good ones there now.
Yeah, I went there a couple of times.
Special shout out to Furies when Jimmy was working there.
Oh, yeah. What a summer.
Euro 2016.
What a summer. Yeah, that was a great spot to watch it. You'd miss Furies now if we were in the Euro. I actually, I know the sponsor us, it might sound like I give them a shout out, but upstairs in the Belfry when the projector screen is on, if you've got them tables on the dance floor.
I didn't think of that either, yeah.
No, the Blues actually another good place to watch a game.
Yeah, the Trades Club is great for the football.
The banjo solo at half time.
Good question. I think that's it, lads. The correspondence, is it?
I think we've gone through them there now, yeah.
Okay, very good. We're going to come back with rugby and the first interview with new head coach Josua Reeves.
He's made 5, 6, 7 yards. The great bullock of a man, this.
Paddy Johns, welcome to the rugby section, lads. Ross, I have to apologise to you first off.
Yes, please.
Very, very sorry. I thought the boys were in the under-20 Six Nations camp for next seasons. I didn't realise it didn't happen.
Just a bit of a smart ass comment was
yeah,
thrown
it
at
was,
me.
yeah, and I should bow to your superior rugby knowledge.
Bit of tension, was there?
He was raging, yeah. So what's that? The lads are with the Irish under-20s and it's happening in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, the Six Nations is starting in a few weeks. Hewart and Donegal, they were playing against Leinster A at the weekend, so there was just a trial match, finished 14-all, so good hit out. I think everyone in the squad was used, so I'd say we'll probably hear in the next week or so how the boys will do if they'll make the final squad. Best of luck to them. So before I jump into the Joshua Reeves interview, just a few other bits and pieces. Next week on this show, we'll have a bit of a episode with Killian Gallagher, Stephen Cairns and Conor O'Donnell. I'm going to chat to the boys this Thursday night, so 3 boys played Irish 20s, very, very successful campaign. All went on to play senior professional rugby with Connacht. Conan's travelled around in the world, played with the Sunwolves over in New Zealand now, training with the Crusaders, played with the Highlanders, and Stephen is over with Bristol at the moment. So it'll be interesting to catch up with the 3 boys, just to have a bit of a chat about their careers and coming up through the ranks in Sligo and all off in 3 different paths now. So that'll be a good crack. Looking forward to
Yeah,
that.
good on us. Looking forward to that myself.
Yeah, so look, that's it from my end. We'll jump into the Joshua Reeves interview. I stuffed up the intro, but we took a second serve at it and got into it.
Look, I got it. Okay, let's hear Josh Ross talking to new Sligo Rugby head coach Joshua Reeves.
Okay, I'm Ross O'Boyle and welcome to the... Oh, fuck me. We'll go again. Give it a second. Okay, it's Ross and here's the rugby review, and I'm really delighted to sit down here via Zoom and chat to Joshua Reeves. Josh, we're really looking forward to having you here in Sligo. Thanks for taking the time to chat to me today.
Absolutely, Ross, mate. No problem. Excited to have a chat to you and talk about my coming over to Sligo very soon. Very excited.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be a bit of a culture shock coming from Rio de Janeiro over to Sligo. How are you going to prepare for that?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's getting a little bit cold here at the moment. It's down to about 21, 22 degrees. So everyone's got their coats on already. I think getting over to Sligo, at least I get over there more or less just at the end of the summer, eh? So it shouldn't be too bad there. But no, really looking forward to it. You live in a place like in Brazil. I live in Sao Paulo actually, in Sao Paulo where it's 18 million people and massive amount of traffic and heaps of people, and so I'm really looking forward to getting somewhere where there's a few less people and you can make some good relationships with people and make some good connections, get to know everybody, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, good stuff. It's it's definitely a different pace of life over here than 18 million people, but it can seem a bit crazy in Sligo sometimes. But you'll get to see that for yourself soon enough. So listen, talk to me there. As you said, you're in camp with Brazil still at the moment. Talk us through camp and what's coming up with the World Cup qualifications.
Yeah. So that's it's pretty serious times at the moment. We're training pretty hard. We've just come off a hard week of training back this week, so the body's pretty sore. We've got basically 3 big games coming up for the South American leg of the World Cup qualifying. So the first challenge for us is to get past Paraguay, which we'd rate ourselves to do, but you've obviously got to take it seriously and do the business on the day. If we're able to beat them, then we go into a 3 three-way tournament with ourselves, Uruguay, and the winner of Chile versus Colombia, which we're expecting will be Chile. So Brazil, Chile, and Uruguay would make up that three-way comp. And
so this is all the South American. It's for World Cup qualification ultimately.
Yeah. Yep, for World Cup qualification 2023 in France. So the top two of that sort of three-way tournament there go through to play against the North American League of the qualification, which is USA and Canada. Basically, out of those four teams, two will go through to the World Cup, and the third one goes through the repechage. So, and the North American League of the qualifying probably happen in November. So all going well through this first part of the qualification, if we can get past Paraguay, get past Chile, then I'll have some more games for Brazil come November.
Okay, so 30 caps at the moment.
30 caps and a few more games. That's over a 4-year period. Played my first game for Brazil in 2017.
Yeah, you've been pretty much ever present since then playing for them.
Yeah. I think I've started every test match at fly half for them, bar one. I think bar one. We've got a young number 10, Lucas Spargo, coming through as well. So I've been sharing a bit of time with him over the last year or so. So it's been good.
Good stuff. And I know when the boys, when we announced your signing, like a lot of the boys have seen those videos on YouTube, highlights there from the games against Canada. They were big moments for the club, for Brazil, the national team. Yeah,
massive moments. They're we had a couple of really big wins over the last 4 or 5 years. Back in 2016, they actually beat USA. That was before I was playing, which was a monumental win. Then we had a first win in Europe against Belgium in 2017, and then 2018 we beat Canada for the first time. We beat them again in 2019. So yeah, there's been a couple of sort of historic moments for us. We're the sort of team, we're very emotional guys, as you can imagine, Brazilians, and so it's not hard for this group to sort of get up for the really big matches. So you come up against Canada or USA or a Māori All Blacks. We played really well against them, Barbarians, and we really get up for those matches. So that's been pretty cool.
Cool. And just to take it back a little bit more, because obviously you're a New Zealander with that accent. How did you end up in Brazil?
Oh yeah, long old story. It's been a journey. I actually came over to Ireland and played. Believe it or not, I came over to play cricket in Ireland. I don't think you guys will believe that, but I came over to play cricket up in North Dublin, and from there I got myself connected with Wanderers Club. So I played a season with Wanderers. Actually, the first year that Sligo was in the AIL, I played for Wanderers.
Oh.
And
how did the result go that day? Can you remember?
I actually wasn't. I had to go home for the first half of the season for a family issue, but I think Sligo won that day. Actually, maybe 13-3 or something like that. Good solid game. So hopefully we'll be repeating that result again this year. And I was lucky enough anyway. While I was there in Dublin, I was lucky enough to meet my now wife Anna, who's Brazilian, and we lived together a little bit in Dublin. Then she came to New Zealand with me for a couple of years, and then in 2014 we decided to move to Brazil. My rugby was going decent at the time in Christchurch, playing for Shirley Club, seniors over there, but sort of the writing was on the wall a bit for me in terms of my career there. It was guys like Richie Mwanga coming through at the club level there, and
yeah, he goes all right, doesn't he?
He goes all right. So I said, you can have the number 10 jersey there, Richie. I'll head off and see what I can do in Brazil. So and at the time the Crusaders had a partnership with the Brazilian Rugby Union in Brazil, sort of high performance development. And so just through a few contacts, I learned a little bit more about how rugby was growing in Brazil. So I said it was a pretty good idea for us to head over. And been very lucky because the rugby has just grown so much in Brazil over the last 6 or 7 years while I've been here. And just right place, right time, really. So you have a bit of a soft spot for Ireland, having met your wife over here. Absolutely. Yeah, we both do. So I think I always had a feeling at some point that we would get to head back to Ireland. I've huge admiration for Irish rugby. I think the passion that people approach the game, the detail that people learn the game. It's people talk about how impressive it is that New Zealand is, best rugby team in the world with only 4.5 million people. But Ireland being a top 5 team in the world, basically with a sort of similar population, but at the same time, you're sort of dealing with the fact that it's not really the national sport. There's
No,
other
absolutely.
sports,
It's probably third or fourth.
third or fourth, yeah.
So like it
Exactly.
really remarkable what they're doing. And I suppose to circle on that for a second, what is it like being in a soccer mad nation? With soccer as life in Brazil. What kind of coverage was the game getting over there? Was it growing?
Yeah, it's grown. It's difficult because it almost doesn't really matter what sport you are in Brazil. If you're not football, then it's very difficult to get a lot of coverage. Even the other sports that are quite big sort of struggle for coverage compared to football. And there's a massive amount of coverage through ESPN. So a lot of coverage through ESPN, but in Brazil to really gain popularity, you have to really get the free-to-air coverage, which is probably the similar story a lot of places around the world, isn't it? So whenever rugby's been able to get that free-to-air coverage, there's been a real boom effect. So one of them was obviously hosting the rugby in the Olympic Games in 2016. I think post 2016 there was a huge boom in rugby and uptake in rugby in Brazil. It's been difficult over the last year and a half, with the way things have gone with the pandemic, and everyone knows how much Brazil suffered throughout the pandemic. So I wouldn't say there's been too much growth or visibility, let's say, of rugby over the last year or so. But no, we'll get there. Qualifying for the World Cup will help.
And I suppose just we'll touch on the kind of relationship to Sligo, because I mean it was very kind of the way the doors opened up and came about that you came on Sligo's radar. So there is a Sligo connection, how we met. Simon Coulter was over in, was it Uruguay or Chile? Was it Chile at the time?
Yeah, no, he was coaching S&C with Uruguay with their build up to the World Cup.
Yeah.
And I met him. This is back in 2019. So met him in 2019, and they were developing for the World Cup. We got on really well. Invited him to come and stay at my place in Sao Paulo for a couple of days if he was ever down in Brazil. I think a couple of months later he'd finished up his role with Uruguay.
You were telling me though, when you picked him up from the airport, he stood out a little bit.
Yeah, he was. He looked a bit hungover, and he was red as a prawn. So I said, mate,
it's easy to identify the paddy in the airport, anyways.
I said, mate, let's get you home. Let's get you. He looked like he might not have eaten for a couple of days, so that was good. We got him home. We looked after him.
Yeah, and all fairness to Simon, he'd be one of the main reasons that I decided to come over to Sligo. He always spoke really highly about the place, about the people, about the club. We had a lot of good long talks about how much I'd enjoy it there. So yeah, fair play to him.
And from there, because I remember initially we asked Simon when we were looking for a prop, and we were looking all over the world trying to get a tight head prop in, and we'd asked Simon, and that's how you recommended Pedro to us.
Yeah.
And Pedro came over, and he's been fantastic, and I kind of feel for Pedro a bit. He's still here now, and he's coming back next season, but he only got to play about 3 or 4 games, so he really didn't get to see the full experience of Sligo. So we're really looking forward to seeing Pedro now, seeing what he can do next year, because he's really fit in with the boys, and he was, playing touch last week, and he's just such a big, gentle giant, very intelligent man. So he's just, as I said, you can see that kind of passion. He's a very passionate guy. So we're looking forward to seeing him now with a big preseason under his belt and getting stuck in. And then also from discussions with Pedro, then we came across Guilherme as well. And Guilherme came over, and same thing as well. He lit up the game against Buccaneers. He had a really good debut, and he was only getting started when the pandemic hit. So we're delighted to have Guy and Pedro back next year. So we're joking on the show next year, saying you boys are going to be the 3 amigos. That'll be your nickname when you're over here. So
we'll be done.
Really nice for you to play alongside them 2 boys. It'll be good for you to link up with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, geez, I've a lot of time for both of them. Pedro, as you say, gentle giant, but great guy, good player on the field, big man, but really, really carries his body. really well around the field. Good scrummager, but just a good bloke overall. So he'll be great to connect with him again. And Guy is fantastic. He just takes the game seriously and prepares his body really well and trains his skills excellently. And both of them spent 4 years in the Brazilian high performance program, full-time training for that, for a good 4 years. So they're both extremely well prepared to play well.
Yeah, and I suppose just we'll stay on Sligo. So I know you've already started reaching out to the players, building connections. You're really looking forward to getting stuck in, aren't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait. Actually, one of the main reasons that I was so excited to take the role with Sligo is just that sort of ambitious, exciting, energetic feel that I got from the club, got from you guys, and also talking to a lot of the players early on. Just a lot of them are saying really positive things about what we want to achieve this year already. So yeah, really looking forward to getting stuck in. But as you say, mostly looking forward to just building those relationships from the beginning. They all seem like really good guys. Absolutely love their rugby, love their community, and it's going to be good fun.
No, it's going to be good. I know the players are looking forward to you coming over, and a lot of the older members of the club and the club members, and they're all asking about you, and they're all really looking forward to getting somebody into the family, because that's really what it is. Once we take people in, you're in. It's there's a lot of people that have come over to play for Sligo, and they've settled down over here. They've married into Sligo, and they're still here. So look, it's a real family club. As you said yourself, it's all about those connections. So we're really looking forward to having you over here, and here's hoping it's going to be a pretty successful season.
Fantastic. Yeah, mate, really looking forward to it. Can't wait to get over.
Yeah, all right, Josh, listen, good man, we'll leave it at that. Okay, thanks for your time, and we'll check in with you when you're getting ready for them qualifiers and see how things are going. All right.
Cheers, Ross.
All right, good man. Take care.
Okay, Ross, very interesting. Joshua seems excited to come here. I didn't know the Simon Coulter link either, so that's...
Yeah, he was the super agent there, so fair play to Simon. He's done us a massive solid there for the
big red prawn, as he called him. No, that's good news. That's a good rugby review. Ross, go, and looking forward to Thursday night. Back with football, Rovers, Sligo Leitrim. Inglesane! Rovers, Murty, top of the league.
Yeah, another good win on Friday.
Grounded out.
Yeah, back to the wall.
Different type of win.
Yeah, back to the wall sort of stuff. I suppose, the sending off probably, although in fairness, Harps are probably the better team up to that point, but the sending off kind of nearly just decided what we were going to do for the rest of the game. We just kind of sat in for the last half an hour after getting the second goal. But yeah, just another great win. They just keep grinding out wins.
They're the big ones. They're the big points, aren't they? The
huge.
ones that you earn from there.
I don't even think they've played that well this season. It's amazing.
Okay.
I think Liam Buckley would be, obviously he'd be over the moon with the results, but I think maybe the Bows away game was one game where they really were dominant from start to finish.
Yeah.
Harps had plenty of chances the other night, but look, we won again. We're top of the league. We'd be top by a few points if it wasn't for them bastards getting fucking late goals.
They can't say, look, as well,
10 points from losing, from 88 minutes on.
When we were recording last week, the Rovers Shams game was about to kick off, so that was always a big win, but we don't need to go into that too much because it was just everything for a few days, and then Harris. But yeah, we were 4 points clear, and Shams again,
late goal, yeah. And actually, I had a couple of WhatsApp groups, we kind of text about 15 minutes ago, and I just wrote Gaffney 90+4, and sure enough, fucking 10 minutes later, there he was scoring. Look, they keep winning. I suppose we can only really worry about.
Sign of a good team as well, I suppose.
It is, to be fair to them. But we're heading into the break now. Break's probably, I think, coming in an okay time for us. It'll be a good time for Shams as well. But I'd say we'll probably be looking ahead at Europe and maybe adding a couple of players to the squad.
I went in a second, but it's very interesting something you said last week. I kind of looked at the table, and the gap between fourth is something that's great
grown.
to see.
Yeah. So that's, I did say it. I do always keep Bows are actually, in fairness to them, are flying.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bows end up being closer to Rovers and
Pats.
Shams than Pats. Yeah.
Right.
They're a good side, just got off to a bad start. Seem to have,
Yeah.
just had a few issues or whatever. But
Georgie Kelly's getting a few goals.
yeah, so like again, like fourth is usually good enough to get you for Europe, but I suppose just always keeping that. I think it's always has to be forefront in the mind, because the year under O'Neary, the last time when we were successful by not qualifying for Europe, the previous year under Barraclough, and the year under O'Neary, that completely just killed off the good times.
Yeah.
Because there was no European money comes in. It makes such a huge difference, and like I'd say I'd assume now, like don't want to preempt Liam Buckley, but I assume he will be looking at a couple of players.
Yeah, I was going to go on to that. What do you think? What's needed?
We probably just need a bit more, like back up. Yeah. Like I'd say maybe, like I thought Johnny Kenny came on Friday when it's absolutely excellent and done what he needed to do. And like we still have, like when you look at, maybe you probably have Ryan DeVries on the bench the other day, and you've David Cawley. So like even them three lads, you're kind of thinking they'd always be pushing.
DeVries hasn't kicked off yet, has he?
No.
This season? Like last season, when he first signed, I know he had no real preseason last year, but he kind of came good after that.
He did,
so I'd hope maybe the break now.
I think he could be very big for us in the second half of the season. I'd say he'd be looking at some form of attacking option, and maybe I'd be slightly worried if something happened to
Bulger or someone,
Buckley or John Mahon or Bulger. Them three are kind of pivotal. I think we're well enough covered in the full back positions. We've got 4 players for them 2 positions. Maybe just an extra body in midfield and an attacking winger striker type of player.
Kenny's just wise beyond his years, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He was
He
really
knows what to do, like,
so
it's the
smart.
brain.
So smart when he came on the last day. And like, I think even the break will do Johnny the world of good when he comes back.
100%,
So
doing his leaving cert probably, is he?
Yeah, he is. He's doing his leaving cert. Yeah. So no, look, again, it was another great win. Anytime you go up there too, it was great. It's just great to get a win in Ballybuffet. Like, Harps are a good side.
Great crowd up there as well.
Great crowd up there. I'm actually raging. I
didn't think I would have went.
Yeah,
definitely.
I was
didn't
standing
even think of
outside Conley's having pints on Friday night going,
fuck's sake, Marty.
I could have drove up there.
Yeah.
But never even entered my head. But,
No, I didn't think, because like I work in Ballyfair good with, and like it's easy to just watch.
Yeah,
anywhere
it's an easy game to watch. Yeah, fair play to the lads. It was actually
you could hear them.
You can hear them as well. Yeah. So well, hopefully we're not too far
I
away.
was just thinking that. Fingers crossed. Well, Mark McSharry can get the job done.
Come on, Marco.
Go on the Mac.
Look out, old Mac is back. Some people were kind of not giving out, but going with the national coverage isn't great of Rovers. So I think happy days. Like we're not getting
keep flying under the radar. Yeah,
exactly. You're top of the league.
I do think I seen a couple of tweets to Dan McDonald. All right.
Yeah.
To be fair to Dan, he's very he does a very good like League of Ireland podcast.
I does, yeah. Johnny Hurd.
I genuinely think like it does be the journalists are probably all Dublin based. It's always going to be.
It was Ballyfair on a Friday evening.
It's going, it is always probably going to be Dublin centric. The majority of the clubs are from Dublin.
Leave them at it.
Yeah, leave them at it. I think we just fly under the radar here. Nobody talks about us.
No.
Do even a couple of weeks ago, the word was that Pat's edged closer to Shams.
After we were top.
After the win. So it didn't make any sense. We've gone ahead of Pat's or whatever. So no, let them talk away, and we just keep out here doing our thing.
I believe the European Conference League draw is on Monday. No, this day 2 weeks, I think.
This Monday.
Oh no, we'll know the seeds this is 2 weeks, and it's on the next day, is it, or something?
Yeah,
anyway, something like that.
You can kind of nearly tell from the way.
Right, some boys doing some good work there. Eamon Kelly.
Eamon Kelly's a great man for the
coefficients.
The European stuff. So look, it looks like there's going to be a few tricky draws in there, but there is some good ones in there as well. Like with
the Welsh teams will be grand.
I remember when you were like obviously I don't think there'll be many travelling to the game.
Some will, I guarantee you.
Yeah, but back in the day, you used to be just looking for the stupidest draw possible, or the craziest place to go to.
There's a few Albanian teams in it, isn't there? Tirana,
the Slovakian crowd, Trnava, they're a seeded team in it, and they were all, like that time we played them. They were all right. They weren't great, but like looking at it, if Coleraine are going to be seeded. Jesus, and that Welsh team, Ballatown, like especially when we're not travelling, I think just give us the easiest draw possible. Like it's just worth so much money to progress now.
You could charter an old boat from Mullaghmore over to if we get the Welsh team.
Yeah.
We'll look into that. From Mullaghmore, of course. We'll look into that. Okay. Sligo Leitrim Murty, fixtures were released for the new Super League, Summer League, or whatever is the title on it.
Yeah, it's sponsored by...
might go through the fixtures first.
Yeah, so it's sponsored by SIS Pitches. So what's happened is the two leagues are still... It's 2 cups for the Super League and for the Premier League. So first games are kicking off on Sunday the 13th of June. So basically in the Super League, the teams have been split into 2 groups. So the top 2 in each group will go through to a semi-final. Third and fourth will play off for a shield. And then obviously the 2 winners would go to the final to win the Summer Cup. So in our group now, there is Ballastadair, Carberry, Arrow Harps, and there's one other team. I've forgotten them.
I have a question on that. I seen the fixtures on the Strand Celtic page, okay?
Yeah.
One of the Super League groups is 4 teams and the other is 6.
No, that's just
That's wrong.
Yeah, that is wrong. No, the original fixtures, he corrected the fixtures. There's 2 groups of 5.
That's confused. I'm not going to...
Sorry, there's 1 group of 6 because there's an even number of teams.
Oh, so there's 11 teams Super League now?
No, there's 12, but Cliffoney aren't competing in the Summer Cup.
They're all on the beach.
They've decided not to compete for whatever reason. So the 2 groups are split up. So I'll just give you, just for a flavour, the first fixtures there on the 13th of June. So it starts off with Ballastadair against Carberry. And
there's the Carberry van.
There's the window. There we go. So Ballastadair, Carberry, and then we are away to Arrow Harps that first Sunday morning. In Group 2, you've Ahna against Manor, Ballymote against Merville, and MCR against Strand. So that'll be the Super League fixtures. Then going into the Premier Division, you have Glenview are playing Gertrude. Actually, Gertrude pulled out of that league this morning, so they mustn't have been able to field. So that would be a 3-0 win there straight for Glenview. So they're Group 1 with Drumahare playing Colliery. That'd be a derby of sorts, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then in Group 2, you've Enniscrone against Carrick and Killarney against St John's. So basically, you've got 11 of the 12 Super League teams. Tubber were the team I forgot in our group. And I think you have 8 of the 11 teams in the bottom league.
Okay. So it's going week and week, no minute.
Week and week, no break, yeah. Well, we'll have a break week. I think ours is actually at the end because there's an odd number of teams. But no, it's going straight through to, we have fixtures up to including the 11th of July. I assume the semi-finals and final will be the week after.
Very good.
I think the Connacht FA were looking for all competitions that recognise 2021 to be finished by July the 22nd.
Right.
So that, I assume we'll probably be looking at maybe a midweek semi-final and final if we get that far.
As we said last week, good to get back on the pitch.
We're going to try and do a stream one of the matches.
We might be streaming one of the matches with Elite Sport Video, so hopefully give you 90 minutes of non-stop action. Football.
Yeah, I suppose this day next week we'll be the week before we're back to the pitch, so we might have a little preview.
We could do a preview.
We could do a
few predictions.
Well, you couldn't stick me in the predictions, but we put me
just stick out the Cartron ones.
But we'll probably look at it. We will look at doing something.
No, we will.
During these cup matches anyway.
Okay, very good. Back with GA.
Chance here for Jesse Sloan. Can he score? Yes! Sligo!
Okay, lads. Last sporting review, I suppose, of the week. The GA. Sligo footballers beaten again. They lost in Louth. Very disappointing. Half time. They lost 3-18 to 1-14 at half time.
Up by 3.
It looked on against the wind in the first half. Pretty impressive performance, I thought. Mikey Gordon got an early goal, but it just completely disintegrated in the second half, really. Loud got a goal from the throw up. But again, cut through the middle. And
it seems the teams just cut through them now. Like lads running 50 or 60 yards without a glove being laid on them. Do you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of seems to be the story of the last 5 or 6 years.
I agree with you there. And a few people said that as well. Just the second half, there was fellas taking off and going and seemed hard to keep up with them. And then it look the full back and half back then are in trouble because all this is we popped to a player and over the bar of a goal. And
because we were saying last week that of the scores, what did they score against Antrim? 3-12.
3-7 from threes.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, they conceded 3-13. They're after conceding 3-18 now yesterday.
Yeah, and whatever conceded against Leeds, was it 18 points?
Huge scores, I know.
Yeah. But football, I suppose everyone's scoring. But
everyone is scoring,
only 3 or 4 points scored in the second half. But yeah, you're right with the fellas running off the pitch. But like if fellas are running at that defence, what do you do if you have to stick or twist, go to the ball, get it popped over your head, or try and hold them up? Just disappointing because at half time it looked like they were on for the league semi final. I didn't think Louth were really not up to a huge amount. They tagged on a few scores Louth just before half time. A few big kicks from was it Byrne in midfield, and that kind of it was a sign, not a sign of things to come, but like that held them in good stead. Sligo were up at 6 points at one stage against the wind, but it's disappointing.
It's a big swing now not to be competing. To
it is, but like there's the huge complaints when last year. Honestly, I don't see a huge amount of change in what was going on last year either. So I don't know, Niall Murphy's back, I know, but look, they're now in the Shield. So Division 4 Shield final, they weren't supposed to be in it, but Leitrim pulled out today because of the Ballinamore Festival.
Yeah, spoke that news earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, now that
Ballinamore,
we were
your
given,
man.
yeah, your man. Well, we got a call. That's why the reason, but that might not be true. Probably not true at all. It's definitely not true. So Wexford have had a poor campaign. So that's in 2 weeks' time. I'll tell you what the Shield was, anyways. First of all, it was the two bottom teams in each division. Now there was only 3 teams in the Division 4 South. So Wexford went into that. But Sligo weren't supposed to be in it because if they played the same final and won it, they couldn't play the final because they're playing Mayo the next week. But now Leitrim have pulled out. It's going to be a final against Wexford in Laois in 2 weeks' time. And look, it's a good game to get because it's better than a challenge game, which they mightn't have got any around the place this late. Yeah. And Wexford aren't going so well, so maybe try something out there, get a win, and that's confidence. And then maybe not forgotten about, but the Louth game is gone out of the mind then a bit.
Yeah.
Because Mayo is in 4 weeks' time and they are pissing through Division 2.
Like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah.
They're good.
They
look, when they're up, when they're, although a chance, Mayo can't play at the level of the team they're playing against.
They definitely dropped to the level of teams they're playing.
They can, but is there a bit more like they hammered down and they put a good score against Meath yesterday, so like they can.
Because even the Westmeath game,
they weren't.
Yeah,
not that it wasn't overly impressive,
but they always looked like they were going to win in that sort of. I was watching it too, and you never felt like they were going to lose, kind of.
I think if Sligo, look, we'll talk about this later on because we might have a preview show with RF. Is the talk, Ross?
Yeah, that's the talk. We're trying to get something sort of there for before the match. We'll do something.
Yeah, the big up for the match. But we'll talk about more of Mayo later. I was again thinking of like the Paddy Durkin that running at Sligo, but I'm sure Mark needs a plan. Like they've known months out that is Mayo in Markwich, so I'm very hopeful still.
It's a shame now.
Maybe it's naivety, but when championship goes round, you're hopeful.
It's a shame just the way it's panned out now with the league, because like up
it is a bit,
70 minutes up in Belfast, you're
that was it, yeah.
Going to be 2 from 2, and it's a different kettle of fish. You're heading off to a semi-final next week.
True, and then there's definitely been good performances, like 100%.
And it is very short. Like, look, let's be fair. Like in normal league circumstances, if you lose away to Antrim and Louth, it's not that
you'd pick up another few wins at home.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not probably that.
No, it's not. It's just the second half yesterday. Was just
it was very disappointing yesterday.
But look, it is what it is at this moment in time. So Wexford in 2 weeks' time is that for the footballers, but the hurlers, they're on a roll. Jared Kelly Lynch was absolutely buzzing for them. He scored 3-9. They beat Longford 5-23 to 2-19. So it was a high scoring one.
They're flying along again.
Flying the league, yeah.
This is an amazing run of league. I think
they're training up the divisions in the league, all right. So which is good.
Our old Sligo Stats friend had a stat up, I think, at the weekend.
What was that again?
Just about how many games they'd won in the last 2 or 3 years. Yeah, but
14, I think was it.
Yeah, they're very impressive now.
They're going well. Yeah, a bit Longford. Kelly Lynch again. I said he's not with the footballers this year, so he's playing well. 3 players made it on the
team of
the week. Jared Kelly Lynch, brother Tony in midfield, and Kevin Banks, Clare Starhill man. Keep safe, Kevin, and come back to the senior footballers as well.
I was just about to say.
For the club. Watch yourself out there now, will you? But no, it's very good, and Banks, he is. I was watching them train. I had to creep up this garden a good few evenings. They were fucking bored, but I was watching training game. Yeah, he was. I hadn't actually seen much from playing hurling, to be honest, but he was very tidy. So they're going well, yeah. I'm not sure how promotion works now. I'll have to look into that. 'Cause I was looking on there's actually a very good Twitter page called GA League Tables, but he'd no Division 3 table up, or Division 3B
I
table
think
up.
You usually have to win it, don't you? Do you?
I'm not sure is there a final or what. Now, 2-3 weeks time, Christy Ring comes around and Mayo Offaly come to Markwich. Now there's a bit between the teeth this year because they've been doldrums for a few years. That's going to be the test they've been looking for years.
Yeah,
championship hurling against a county that are well known for the hurling, so going well for them. And as well, the ladies are going very well.
Another good win for the ladies.
After a poor year last year. They're flying, yeah. Anthony Brennan managing them. 2-12 to 7 points, but Fermanagh away. So they've won in Down and in Fermanagh in the first 2 games. So that's impressive. And they didn't concede a goal either in the 2 games. I seen Rian Bailey, he does the Ball Talk podcast, it's a good stat. Their goalie for the last 2 games had never played a club or a county game in goals until 2 weeks ago. now she's played 2 games. Is it Emma Gaughan? I'll have to look it up. But
2 clean sheets.
2 clean sheets. Yeah, unreal. So they're 2 from 2 as well. Anthony Brennan in charge of them. I was going to say something. Yeah, Fermanagh won the junior learning last year, so they're not a bad team. So hurlers win, ladies win, footballers lose, unfortunately. Look, we talked with the footballers and that question that came in earlier about what to do with Sligo football. There was a big thing last year after Sligo didn't play the championship. What was the headline? I think Austin O'Callaghan wrote it. What is the problem with Sligo football or something? Can we get a bit over? What's the word? Are we over ambitious maybe at times?
Possibly, yeah. But
no, you have to be ambitious. Like I know,
yeah.
like the likes of Neil Ewing said in his interviews, like he wants to compete and they're well able to compete, and they are. But
yeah, I suppose even if you look at from when Ewing would have first come into the Sligo team in 2008, I think he said.
Well, he came into O'Connor champions, yeah.
Yeah, and like just at the level where they've got like, I know I've probably mentioned it here a couple of times, but I just find it so hard to believe that in 2012 when we
all by
ran
only be a
2
point.
points.
Yeah.
Was it a point or 2 points in that Connacht final?
Yeah.
Mayo probably should have won that. Well, Donegal beat them in that All Ireland final, but just the difference between 2012 and 2015, and then even 2015, it seems to have dropped again because the day we bet Roscommon in 2015, that day just seemed a long way away as well, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sligo, I suppose, as we talked about anyway, I suppose throughout the history, they've spent a lot of time in Division 4. So maybe we are.
Yeah, and I said last year Division 4, a few years Division 4 mightn't do any harm.
Yeah.
Like,
at least you're
playing county football against teams like Louth. They came down from Division 3 last year. Like, they're not a bad team. Antrim are on the way up. So I know, like, we all want to be competing, but sometimes just you can't. 2 teams can only go up.
Yeah, and for probably the last 2 or 3 years they were in Division 3, they were just on the border of being relegated anyway.
Probably was tight a few years. Yeah,
they never looked like they were going to get promoted. Maybe there was 1 year, maybe about 2017, they looked like they might have, but they were never like, you know, they got 7 defeats that last year to play in Division 3. So going into Division 4 might be no harm for them.
No, I don't think it's panic. Like, no, look, that's not the right word, but everyone's looking for what's wrong. Just
let it happen.
We need to get a few wins, but I think it's players, like skill-wise, I think we'll play better with players to compete with anyone. And I've said about the forward line. Look, it'll come good. We won't panic just yet. 26th of June, RF. Okay, lads. Okay, we'll come back to the last bit. We're going to do the dancer for the first time this season.
Oh, the Sligo dancer. There's a Kaylee in the tavern. Come on in.
When you drive the ball down the field, what do you do?
On the floor again.
Okay, the first Sligo dancer of the series, sponsored by Bavaria 00. Drinking and driving, have a Bavaria 00. Okay, lads, who are you going for?
Go on, Ross. You go first.
I'll go for my surfer, fellow Colliery man, Garage McDade.
Yeah, you only feel he's a Colliery man there because Aaron O'Donnell has just wrote in to the Instagram page.
Yes. But nonetheless, he's dancing for me.
Owned in Strandhill, though. Oh, we just got another correspondence and we might read this out actually.
Roger.
We'll read it out after this. Sorry, Murty, go.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I know I mentioned it last week, but Billy Brennan, who was accused of handicap tampering by Shane Ward last night. But
what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wardy was accusing him now of big stuff last night. But anyway, Billy got a hole in one on the second hole. It was 160 yards into the wind.
In Strandhill, 160
yards into the wind, and he put a 6-iron straight into the hole. It cost me a pretty penny, so it did now having to pay him out because we do have a few side bets. But it's an unbelievable achievement. Like, genuinely, like, I'll go through my life and I don't know, I probably, the odds are probably against me ever getting a hole in one in golf. Bertie's now a different kettle of fish, but like at golf, it's completely, it is like, they're so hard to get. So yeah, he gets my nomination.
Fair play, Billy. And shame on you, Wardy. I'm going to go for Jared Kelly Lynch, lads. Scored 3-9 in a game, if anything, is 18 points. Hurling. So hurlers on the up.
Tough round this week.
So who's going to get them? You'll either have Garage McDade in the sea with a pair of white fronts on him, Billy on the golf course.
Talking out for Cartron in a couple of weeks.
Kelly Lynch in Markfitch Park. Stereo dancers for the week. We'll get that photo up in a while. We just one more bit of correspondence in while we're talking there. Declan Pascal, he off Sligo Leitrim Twitter page fame.
Sligo Leitrim soccer page, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, copyright. It kind of goes into Fitzo's question and Niall Kernean's Carvery bits. It's best hostelry to watch the Euros during outdoor pint. Oh, sorry, I thought he meant eating as well. it doesn't go into them two questions. So, best hostelry to watch the Euros during outdoor pint regulations.
Well, with that one, I don't.
Who's going to do it is the question.
Yeah. The only place I can think of at the minute with a TV outside is
Foley's have a marquee at the back.
Foley's have a marquee at the back.
That
Actually,
would be now.
That would
First come, first serve.
And they had the TV.
They've done a lot of works there.
Do they?
Yeah,
For the beer garden. They've got a sensational beer
The blue
garden.
looks amazing now.
I'll give young Peter Meehan a shout out.
Yeah.
I never talked to him.
Peter's top lad. Top lad.
There's a teacher in Summerhill who was telling me last week about him, like that he transferred to us, and he goes, "You know Peter Meehan, do you?" And I said, "No." He goes, "He's telling on me all about the Clara Mansion for I transferred." Like, I never talked to him in my life.
Peter,
and he said he's going to be a politician. But I have good time for him.
Peter's a gentleman. Yeah, he's actually. I think he did. My brother was telling me he did some sort of Blockbusters. They did a Blockbusters game in Summerhill for the Leaving Cert or something. Peter presented it, but Peter's
he's a man about town for 17 years of age, isn't he?
He really is. He really
Might
is.
get him on at some stage.
Yeah.
And he knows all about junior soccer as well.
He's a great addition to Twitter as well.
He's well involved in St John's, but
Could be a future dancer here, I think.
He could be a co-host.
And he's got good plans for the Blue.
Yeah,
he comes from good stock. His father Aidan's the top man as well.
Sorry, so you're saying where is there the Blue? Do the Blue have the TV out?
I'd say they will have TVs now. They've done a whole pile of work down there, but I suppose Foley's.
Didn't Belfry used to have one out in the outdoor
smoking area? Yeah, they'd have one there. I assume the places are going to have them now for that month. Like
Car park will have to do something because the snug and the Gar most places people are at these days, isn't it? 'Cause
yeah.
I know of one man who was there drinking last night, and
There's a few. I was coming back from Mullaghmore last night via Cliffoney, and see most of my tan here now. It's not a fireman's tan.
it's an all over.
It's an all over tan. Yeah. Popped in to meet a couple of messers there in the Stephen Street car park.
Yeah.
I got in there at 9 o'clock. They just stopped serving. I was
Right.
looking to get a Guinness for the road, and I'd revoluted John Quinn 5 or 20 minutes earlier, but he didn't go to the bar and get me one. But that's neither here nor there. And it was actually, to be honest with you, there was music being played. There was crowds of people everywhere, but it was really tame and it was nice. Like it was.
I think I was there Friday night now, and it wasn't busy or anything. There was huge drinking.
It was nice. I was actually impressed. The behaviour was good. Just by 9 o'clock.
Saturday now, I think was a bit more. There was a lot more people there Saturday,
Right.
but I suppose
they might throw TVs out there.
Give them bins and toilets and see how they go.
Yeah, it's fine. Like it's. We'll
gone
be
off track
back on
here,
COVID
lads.
talk again. But I'd say, look, in answer to the question, I assume that most pubs for the month of June are going to have some sort of TV out there anyway. So
We'll say the Blue, the Belfry, and Foley's at the back.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Good to go.
That's us.
That's us. Yeah, for this week.
Okay. See you next week.
I'm going back to where the beach is near, the beer is dear, there's plenty of women on the crack. Walking
Here we are in the final second. The whistle is gone, and Sligo Rovers are the champions.
By the riverside, you can watch the tide as it flows.
No, I'm being told that Average Joe's does not have enough players and will be forfeiting the championship match.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Very tight and drive it clean out over the fence. Out